Hi, I'm Emily, and I'll be talking about Human Resources Management, also known as HRM. So the HRM process consists of planning, attracting, developing, and retaining these human resources, which are the employees of an organization. So that's stuff like recruiting candidates, disciplinary action, policies, anything revolving the human resources of an organization. HRM is incredibly important because, well, staff is the most important resource of an organization. You can't really run a business or an organization without employees. So human resource is the key ingredient to success, and with these people, you can really create incredible accomplishments and innovations. This is just a basic map of the major processes that HRM is responsible for, and I'll be going over each of them in detail. So the first one is recruitment and selection, which is basically the process by which a job vacancy is identified and potential employees are notified. So basically, you're looking for qualified people for a certain position, and of course this process is subject to employment law. Main forms of recruitment are usually through newspapers, magazines, trade papers, and internal vacancy lists, but recently we've also been seeing online spaces to find jobs, such as websites like Indeed and Glassdoor. But usually, regardless of where you find the advertisement, you demonstrate your suitability through an application form or letter, which is basically a resume. So a job description is essentially an outline of the role of the job holder, so it tells you what exactly the job entails. And the person specification is an outline of the skills and qualities you need, so some examples might be have a certain degree or have a certain number of years in a certain field. Alright, so selection is the process of assessing candidates and appointing a post holder, so basically finding someone suitable for the job. Applicants are typically shortlisted and the most suitable candidates are selected. And of course, the selection process is different for each organization. Not everyone is going to find employees the same way. But some common methods we have are interviews, which is where they sit you down, ask you a couple of questions, and then decide whether or not you're suitable. A psychometric test, which assesses the personality of the applicant, whether they'd fit in or not, whether they'd work well in the environment or not. An aptitude test, which assesses the skills of an applicant, so basically what job is suitable for them. And an in-tray exercise, which is an activity based around something you might see on the job, like, for example, writing a letter to a disgruntled customer. And next is employment legislation, which is becoming an increasingly important aspect of the HRM role. There are a wide range of areas for attention, and because of that, that adds to the cost of the business. But in cases like discrimination, which is a hot topic even now, it's extremely important that HRM gets it right. So you can't discriminate based on race, gender, or disability. So HRM has to make sure that they're giving equal opportunities to each prospective employee. And next is discipline. So firms simply can't just fire workers. So instead, HRM has a wide range of procedures and steps to deal with these workplace conflicts. And some common ones are informal meetings, formal meetings, verbal warnings, written warnings, grievance procedures, and working with external agencies. The next one is development. So developing an employee is basically investing in a valuable asset. So developing is also a source of motivation for the employee, as well as a way to help them fulfill their potential at the company or business or organization. Training is very similar to development. It basically provides new skills for the employee and keeps them up to date with changes in their field so that they don't fall behind. And training is also a way to help an employee improve their efficiency and can be either external or in-house. And training is really important for both the employee themselves and for the organization in order for them not to fall behind in the industry and for them to continue making new accomplishments and new innovations. The next one is the reward system. It basically uses a system of pay and benefits to reward workers for doing their work. And oftentimes money might not be the only reward. There are fringe benefits, which is, for example, a company car or a company phone. And there's also flexibility at work and holidays or day offs. So these are all excellent ways for workers to, get motivated and for them to work. And as HRM, you have to work with trade unions because it's very important to build relationships with the people who represent your employees, so you know what your employees are looking for. The role of trade unions has changed over time, but largely HRM has to focus on the importance of consultation and negotiation on working with these trade unions And when they do that, it can lead to smooth change management and leadership. Okay, next is productivity. So HRM has to measure performance, which is basically how much an employee outputs for the company or organization. And a common problem HRM faces is how exactly to value the worker's contribution, because it's especially difficult to measure some types of output in industries, such as the service industry, where there's not really anything tangible to measure. So that's why there are also appraisals, which are non-judgmental and between a worker and a nominated appraiser. And it basically agrees strengths, weaknesses, and ways forward to help both the employee and organization. And lastly, motivation is also a key part of HRM. We have to keep employees happy and enthusiastic about their work in order to have healthier employees and also a more efficient workspace. So HRM might plan training sessions, hire trainers with specific skills, send motivational mail, and I've also seen events like team bonding and something fun to get the employees up and about. And that's all for human resources management. I hope you guys learned something.